Hey, what's up guys? Charlie here. Welcome back to Conquering Kerbal Space Program. I have a contract to rescue Raygun Kerman, and I think I'm going to do that before Duna, because I think it's only nice, you know, get this poor guy who's stranded around Kerbin, get him out of there before we start our extended long voyage to Duna. It just seems like a nice thing to do. Looking at contracts though, I also have another one being offered to me right now. It says recover Tian? I'm gonna call him Tian. I don't really know. Tia for short. It could be a girl or a guy, I really don't know. But it says that I have to recover what's left. Return her, okay, it's a her. Return her and what is left of her vessel to Kerbin. I have to recover the vessel as well. Okay, what's the details here? Tian's scrap stats is 2.5 tons. It's 2.1 meters in height, 2.6 meters in width, and it's 2.7 meters long. Does this mean that it will fit inside a 2.5 meter cargo bay? Will it fit in a Mark III cargo bay? I don't know. It kind of looks like it will. So I think I'm going to take this. It's around the moon, which is going to be extra expense, but you'll notice it gives us like 78,000 as an advance and 178,000 for completion, as well as a pretty good amount of reputation and, you know, a little bit of science too. So I'll accept that, and we'll take a look at where this person really is and what kind of orbit this person's in. I don't see the contract ship. Oh, there it is. Right there. Okay, kind of an inclined orbit. I would like to actually go to this person's vessel and just take a look at what they're in, but it won't let me do that. So I guess we'll just have to hope that the vessel will fit inside a Mark I cargo bay. Let's go to the VAB. And actually, before we get into the VAB thing, I did want to give you guys a quick update on sort of the contracts and finances and sort of where we stand on that kind of stuff. With the contracts that I've been doing, which aren't that many different ones, or at least aren't that many more, we're at 1.9, well, basically 1.95 million. So plenty of money to do what we need to do for Duna, as well as I think we have enough finances now that's basically going to secure the future of the Pryor Interstellar Space Station, or Pryor International Space Station. You can figure out the acronym for that. But we have 202 science, and the reason why that's important is, let me just go to research and development really quick. I know I said before that when I got long-term habitation, I'd be set and I could start my bases. And while that is primarily true because of the components that I get with this node, and I've unlocked it, which is why I have a lot less science now than I did last episode, there's a problem, because a lot of the critical components that I actually do need for my plans are kind of spread out a little bit. They're not completely spread out, but things like the solar panels I want are kind of hidden away. I don't need to go all the way to this, but it would be really nice to get these. And I am going to try my best to wait to get cutting edge solar technology before I really truly have finished my Kerbal, or my Kerbin station that's orbiting. But some of the primary surface ones that I have to do, experimental science. Wait, is experimental science it? Well, yeah, I mean, experimental science, it has the large holding tanks for the ore and stuff, which is kind of important, I guess. It also has the narrowband scanner. Long-term science tech was the one I was looking for, though. And this has the planetary laboratory, which is a pretty good component to have, I think. It also has some critical science stuff that's going to make things kind of smooth and a little bit easier, I think, to manage, although much, much more expensive. And that is the micro goo containment pod and the science micro. I doubt I'll ever use these, but if there's a situation where I just can't fit the part and I have the extra money, I might pop one of these in, because these are basically the same experiments as what we already have, except they're extremely small compared to their former selves and extremely expensive. So yeah, solar particle collector is actually a new experiment to have, so that's something I'm interested in, but I don't have the science to do it, and I'm trying to sort of prioritize the science at the moment towards bases and not science. So it kind of works though because the planetary laboratory is in the same node. So that's going to be my excuse to buy that. Another thing is for our Duna mission and for the bases on Duna, when you're using RemoteTech, there's going to be a lot of lag with your satellites. There's a lot of lag that happens. It may take 9 to 12 minutes, I forget what it is, for RemoteTech. For what I tell my probe to do, between the time I tell it to do it and the time it actually does it. There's many minutes of lag there, many minutes of a delay instead of a couple of seconds or whatever. Like, we haven't really experienced delay yet in this playthrough. And in order to kind of get rid of that, you can have a remote, sort of a remote command station or remote guidance station. And inside the Duna station, I actually want it on the ground, not in orbit. On the ground station, I want to have it be like a secondary KSC, because I think that will really help us in sort of interplanetary travel later. And that, in order to pull that off, I need to unlock Advanced Unmanned Tech and then unlock large probes. Because inside large probes, there's this unit, the RCL-01, the remote guidance unit. This thing here, when it's on a vessel or a station or whatever that is manned by 6 or more Kerbals, it will act as a direct command center for probes, which means the signal will no longer need to travel all the way to the KSC to do commands. I will no longer necessarily need a interplanetary network around Duna. I will still have one, but I won't necessarily need one for the probes because the remote controlling is happening locally from the station that has this unit installed. It's not happening from the KSC. So if I can install a base on Duna and get all that stuff working and have this unit here on the base, then as long as the Duna station has 6 or more Kerbals, which it almost always will, then I'll be able to do all of my unmanned stuff with virtually no lag at all, which is brilliant. The orbital station that I'm going to have going around Jool will have the same thing. It's going to have this unit installed, and it will have a bunch of Kerbals installed on that orbital station, so that all of Jool's, the whole Jool system, has virtually no lag with remote probes. That's how I'm going to get around a lot of this life support requirements one traveling all over the freaking solar system, is going to have sort of these strategically placed stations with these strategically placed remote guidances that is going to allow me to sort of offset the requirement to send Kerbals because of having to deal with the delay. So that's where I'm going with that. However, it's going to take 550 more science to unlock this, and then another 1,000 to get to large probes. So I'm not going to be able to get this for this trip to Duna, which means I can't send everything I want to send for this trip to Duna. And unfortunately, the way I want to build my base, like the way I actually want to construct it and the way I've been planning to construct it, which I actually probably will go through in the next episode instead of this one, it's going to require this part, and this part is going to be on the central hub for the whole base, the way I want it constructed. So I'm kind of torn here. Like, I don't know exactly what I want to do for the bases. I think I want to send almost every component and just send it to Duna and let's have the components sort of, you know, packaged up really nice so that they can be deployed and you know, lowered down to Duna whenever I want and all that stuff. I think I might send the vast majority of components to Duna and just let it sort of hang out in orbit for a while. And then once I have this unit and I can actually send the rest of my stuff, at that point I can commit to actually starting to build the station, because this component needs to be on my central, it doesn't need to be, but I want it to be, in my design anyway, I want it to be on the central point, on the central hub. And I'll show you that in the next episode most likely. I don't know what the next episode will be, but it'll probably be shown then. I also need logistics, and this is something simple. It's 300 science. I can probably unlock it right now if I just go to Minmus and have it transmit science. But it's going to have these containers, and these containers are really valuable for getting material kits and all sorts of other stuff that I need in order to maybe construct things on Duna, and construct things really anywhere that's not Kerbin. So lots and lots of stuff here, guys. The other thing I wanted to show you, or the other component I'm waiting for, is, if I can find it again, I don't remember. It's not here. It's not here. Mechatronics, experimental electronics. No, I don't think it's here. I thought it was, maybe it's aerospace composites? Well, the Meerkat landing assist for the base components is a pretty cool thing, but it's not what I was waiting for. I'm waiting for... There's a docking port that goes with the base systems. I don't remember where it is. Oh, these hinges are pretty important for my trucks, too. I've got so many things planned, guys. It's just nuts. I just have to show you, and I can't show you until I have the parts. Okay, enough talking, enough jibber-jabber. Let's get something constructed that we can go and rescue these guys. I want to do both. I want to rescue both of these guys in the same flight. I think that's what I kind of want to do. So let's go to the VAB and build something cool. Okay, inside the VAB, let's go ahead and grab a command pod. We need something that's going to be able to hold 2 Kerbals at least, but I want to have a pilot. I don't want to have to deal with remote stuff here, so let's go with this one. For this one, the windows are kind of bugged, much like the mobile processing lab, just with then stock revamp. When you hover over top of it, you can see right through it. So if that annoys you, I'm sorry, but that's just going to happen. Every time I mouse over this, even when we're flying, that's just what's going to happen. So this command pod is what we're going to have, and then I want to have parachute. Obviously, we need to be able to save their lives when they come back into the planet. We're going to have general aero. Let's grab the heat shield. There we go. And then we need a stack decoupler as well. Okay. So we need something that can get to the moon, but we also have to recover a craft. And that craft weighs 2.5 tons. Now, I kind of want to get a visual on how big that is, how big this craft is. The measurements for the thing I have to bring back says 2.5 tons, 2.1 meters height. I bet it's one of these. It kind of feels like it's one of these command pods. Can I see the dimensions of this? Is there anywhere I can actually see the measurements of these things? This weighs 4 tons, so it's not this. Is it a lander can? Oh, please don't be a lander can. It might be a lander can. Or it could be one of these cockpits, too. If it's an MK2 cockpit, that's 2 tons, so it's not that one. It's not going to be this. Man, I wonder what he's in. What is she in? I need to just make sure that whatever she's in, I have a vessel that's kind of like large enough to where I can hold it. But I don't think it'll... I mean, 2.5 tons isn't that big. It's kind of like this command pod, only not quite the same, I guess. This is 2 tons. This is 2 tons. This is 2.1 tons. So I guess I'm going to have to go with, if I can fit an MK2 in it, then I can fit an MK2. I guess I'm going to go with that. So what I need then is kind of like a relatively larger craft than usual, but I need a cargo bay. I think I'm going to do a cargo bay and a tug. So we got this decoupler here. Let's fill... You know what? I know it's overkill, but it might be kind of cool to take our new engine for a little test drive. I know, a little overkill, but I think it might be cool. We have the money. I'm debating on doing it. We'll see how the build goes. First, I'm gonna need structural. Actually, you know what? Structural, what I want. I mean, there's adapters in here. Adapters would be nice because I need to get from MK2 to MK3. So, but I think that's all. I think all the adapters are in general aero. Actually, if we did, God, I wish I knew if this was big enough. It can't be. It can't be big enough. All right, so it's not gonna be big enough. So what I need then is an MK3 cargo bay, probably one like this. That's probably big enough. In fact, it's probably more than big enough. But the risk is if it doesn't fit in here, if for whatever reason it's larger than this, then I'm kind of screwed. And I'd rather go too big than too small. Hey. Sorry, I couldn't resist. That's what she said. Let's do this cargo bay here. I'm thinking about this adapter. Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, put that there. And this is what this is basically going to be the kind of the start of our craft, right? So the tank setup, I want, let's just do liquid fuel and oxidizer. Let's just do regular rockets. I don't want to get too expensive. We'll be a little more conservative with things. Inside here, I want to have a grabber arm, one of these grabbing units. So let's just hold, kind of get this to be like that. And so what's going to happen is we're going to kind of grab onto whatever this thing is, and we're going to, well, basically pull it down into the cargo bay and have this hand grab it. Now, one thing I could do is maybe get like a little tug out of this, and I think that might be the best option. So instead of this, whoops, instead of this, wow, I can't grab the, it won't let me grab the arm. Okay. Thank you. Instead of this, let's instead put a docking port. Can I get, it's over in this special docking port here. Let's grab a docking port senior. Is this the right way? No, this is it's the other way. It's this way. Yeah. Those are the two hash marks. Okay, good. Now for this docking port, I know you're thinking, you're probably like, wow, that's kind of overkill. You don't need a docking port that big. And you're kind of right, except I already have a sub-assembly that works for this. So I'm gonna grab the cargo space tug. All right, now this is my kind of overkill space tug that I built a while back. This is the space tug that's gonna be on the Kerbal Space Station. It is way overkill for our purposes here, and as you can see, it's also quite large in this cargo bay. So clearly I need to sort of rethink the design for this purpose, but I guess it's my opportunity to show you what I've been working on. I have a few little things that I've been kind of trying to work on, and this is my little tug, my little space tug. That's gonna do some really cool things for us. It's got a bunch of delta V on its own, in case it needs to be the thing that deorbits things and then it needs to get back to the ship. There's a whole bunch of things I've sort of thought of, and I've sort of just made like an all-in-one, every purpose tug. So this is totally going to be enough to also do asteroids, because these little things are engines and they're actually quite powerful, and they have quite a bit of delta V with the amount of fuel on this thing. So we can do some asteroid stuff with this tug as well. But clearly I need to rethink the tug. So let me rethink sort of how I want to do this cargo bay setup, and then I'll just kind of reload it from there. I don't know how much of the build you guys like me to display, so if you would rather just watch longer videos with me actually building things and trying things out in the VAB, let me know down in the comments down below. Other than that though, I'm gonna go with what I assume most people like, and that is to sort of see a finished product and have a tour. But I don't know if that's right. So again, let me know down in the comments down below what you prefer. I'm trying to do videos. I do videos my own way, but I mean, I'm gonna do this and brainstorm this stuff anyway. So if you like longer stuff, let me know. Okay, so to do this, I think a little bit better, or a little bit smarter, I think I'm gonna start with a smaller docking port. So let's grab the Junior instead. Okay guys, so the plans have changed quite a bit because the cargo bay idea, I liked it a lot, but it was getting a bit expensive. So I have changed it. It is definitely not there anymore, and I am going to be using our new engine. I do want to try it out just to see what it's like. But there's another reason I'm using it also, and I'll kind of go over that while we're up in the air, but let's just say, for lack of better terms, the primary objective is to come into Kerbal very controlled and slowly, so that we can recover basically all of this with the craft. So the goal is to have a very controlled descent into Kerbal so that we don't have to worry about heat. If we do have to worry about heat, of course, we do have all of the all of the settings, if you will, all of the chances, all of the normal decouplers and whatever, to get it to where it's just the command pod as we're coming down. But the goal is to not have to worry about that kind of thing. So I'm actually going to put because these parachutes kind of stick out kind of far, I do want to put some sort of a security measure in place here, just in case. So I'm actually going to stuff a radial or inline parachute system. Actually, you know what? I don't need to do this because... So this is kind of cool. This is a Clampetron docking port, and this is a real chute stack chute. This is a stack parachute. The chutes come out of the stack, and there's 4 of them. And this is obviously a docking port, and you can see how they sort of nestle themselves inside each other. There's also another docking port. If I go to docking ports here, and I go to Clampetron MK16XXL docking port. This is the same docking port system, but the same size docking port system, but there's parachutes integrated into it. How cool is that, right? So we'll give that a shot if we have to as well. Now this doesn't seem to want to dock very, what's the word I'm looking for? Tightly. I can't tell what's happening here. It doesn't really look like it's docked. So maybe it's not as cool as I thought it was. I do like the appearance of the one actually being docked, though. So I think what I'm actually going to do is go back to the real chute thing, but I think that's a kind of a cool docking port as long as it works. And I'm not going to give it the chance to work in this particular mission because I just want to make sure this stuff is docked. So this, yeah, this does look docked. I think it's the stock revamp, honestly. I think the stock revamp is kind of screwing with me here. But anyway, there we go. There's our craft. We're going to get ourselves up into orbit, and hopefully we'll have enough Delta V to do everything we need, and that is rescue 2 Kerbals while bringing back 1 vessel. It should be an adventure. I've never done the second part of that before, so let's go. Okay, we're here on the launch pad, and it's nighttime. We're going to be launching in the dark because I don't want to waste any time if we don't have to. But we are going to have to waste a little bit of time because I'm going to have to get our buddy Raygun here in the proper position for us to meet it fairly quickly, at least hopefully meet it fairly quickly. So we're going to do a little bit of time acceleration. His apoapsis is 90, his periapsis is 80, so he has a little bit of eccentricity here. Might make it a little bit interesting to meet up with him. Let's go ahead and stop it there, and we'll go ahead and launch with that in that position. So SAS on. I'm not going to put thrusters to max. In fact, I'm actually going to turn the twin bore off. It's activated, but it's off, or it's basically throttled all the way down because I don't need that extra thrust right now. This is more than enough thrust, as you can see. So up we go, up we go. And actually, I didn't put the right decouplers on this. Damn. So I'm actually going to have to delay my turn a bit because I don't want this thing to hit me. Decouple, fire the engines to get a separation. Oh! Did it work? It worked. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of there. Lots to be afraid of there. We are going higher, but we're definitely not arcing ourselves very well. So I'm going to have to turn myself a lot more aggressively than usual to get ourselves over. But that's just the nature of the build. I didn't build that properly. I should have put the other decouplers on, the ones that have their own sort of jets to them. And I just didn't do that, so my bad. My bad. Put ourselves in target mode here, if possible. Let's see where the target is. Right now, we're not getting any type of rendezvous yet, but we may. If we keep on our current trajectory, we might actually get ourselves... Oh man, it's going to be close. Oh, did you see that? Oh, it was so close. 14. Yep, we're bringing it back. All right, that's where we want. Yep, all right. So we're going to be 1.8 kilometers away from the target in 100 seconds. Very cool. So let's get ourselves pointed target retrograde. Oh, come on, get over. Get ourselves pointed target retrograde. And we'll just burn ourselves. Well, not burn ourselves, but we're gonna burn. It's a 58-second burn. It's gonna take a while to do what we need to do, but that's okay. Let's tell Bartman to keep ourselves pointed at target retrograde. Okay. So there we go. And I'm gonna need to burn soon. That's where the target is, right there. Okay. Coming down, coming down. Extend the solar panels a bit here. Let's go ahead and make this burn. And here we go. I burned a little bit late. I did start a little bit late. Didn't mean to, it just kind of happened that way. But hopefully it's not, hopefully we're not entirely lost on this. Probably we'll have to, yeah, definitely gonna have to make some sort of an adjustment here. He is coming up fast. Wow, look at that. So close. We were so close to him. That was pretty cool. Definitely getting farther away from us though. I definitely started burning way too late there. Wasn't paying attention at all. I think the lucky part of this though, maybe, is that we're still killing the relative velocity, and when we do that, pointing at target will actually be already the direction we're pointing somewhat, so we'll be able to get closer. 4.2 kilometers is where we're gonna end up being. I need to decouple this. So let's do that. Hopefully that will deorbit that. I kind of doubt it right now, but I'm hoping. So now I need to start this engine up. Ooh, the pink plume. I like it, I like it. 3.9 kilometers is where we're gonna be now, so let's just turn this back on, see if we can't get closer to this thing. 3 kilometers. 2.4. 2 kilometers. That's probably, that looks like, based on our progress slowing down, I'm not sure I can get closer than that by going target. So let's point target retrograde. Yeah, so I kind of, obviously I really wish I wouldn't have done that, but like it is what it is. So we don't have Kerbal Engineer installed, unfortunately, because I'm dumb. So Bartman, whoa, Bartman, whoa, whoa, Bartman. I don't have MechJeb installed either. So Bartman is our pilot for today. No MechJeb, no Kerbal Engineer. Awesome, we really thought ahead on this, didn't we? And Bartman overshoots the target once more. That's why we do it with a lot of time in advance. And we are using electric charge. A little bit. It's all right though. Let's go ahead and, man, I think Bartman's just having fun at the yoke here. Let's go time acceleration. And let's get ourselves a little closer to this target here. Reagan's capsule. There it is. Okay, not that bad, you know? Spent a little extra fuel than we should have. But really, like relative velocity wise, I mean, we spent like 30 meters per second more than we should have. You know, it's really not that big of a deal. That stage was unintentionally, that stage was kind of perfectly created to rendezvous with this thing. And that's all it was meant to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and just burn this velocity off. I'm not really concerned about what better burn time says at the moment. I'm just gonna kind of do it my way at this point. Okay. I would like this to cooperate a bit. There we go. I do have a reaction wheel installed somewhere. I thought I had a second one. I think I just ejected it with that last stage. It's probably what happened. I'm trying to figure out why Bartman's fighting me here. He needs to cut it out. Being a jerk. These two things are locked, and I don't know why. Alright, well, close enough. Let's point towards the target. Bartman's already moving me around. Man, I wish I could get him to, like, stop. But he won't. He's being a jerk. What are you doing, Bartman? Do I need to EVA you and kick you out of the cab? No, then I won't be able to control anything. That's no good. Alright, point ourselves towards Reagan's capsule here. And I'm just gonna kinda do a little burn. I wanna get ourselves closer. You know, that's probably close enough. I can get a little closer though, it's not a big deal. 500 meters is actually good enough. So that's all we're gonna do. I'll go ahead and face target retrograde. And this will be us rendezvousing with Reagan's capsule. Reagan will hop into this vessel, and then we will proceed to the moon from there. And once again, Bartman showing us how awesome he is at getting to the retrograde marker multiple times. Come on. There you go. Come on. I'm fighting him, by the way. I'm trying to time my resistance to slow him down so that he'll make the target. And this is how much he's overshooting with me fighting him. It's pretty bad, man. Like, Kerbals really need to figure out how to drive, especially when they're pilots. I guess SAS isn't everything. All right, the door for this is actually on this side, so I'm going to, when I kill this relative velocity, which, I mean, honestly, it's kind of like right now, would be a good time. I think probably an okay time. Not really. Yeah, this is fine where it is. Let's just do it. Okay, close enough. I'm gonna switch to Reagan. Once I'm gonna rotate this way first, though. There we go. Switch to Reagan's capsule. And we're just gonna EVA Reagan. He's a scientist. Can't exit. Module has no hatch. Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Module has no hatch. Well, that means we have to dock to it, don't we? Doesn't it? Like, we absolutely have to get on top of it then. Like, it didn't say I had to bring back Reagan's capsule. It said I had to bring back the other one. So, wow. He's in a module that has no hatch. Okay. They're just making things more difficult for us. Keep myself pointed right at the target here. Let's arm the grabber. And we'll control it from the arm as well. Or at least from the perspective of the arm. Alright, coming in. Getting close. I don't have any lights on this. I kind of wish now I would have put some lights on this, but I didn't. Okay, let's slow ourselves down a bit here. Going a little bit fast. we go. I'm alright with that speed. Get our trajectory fixed one more time. There we go. And I'm kind of turning on and off the RCS here because I don't have it balanced, and I don't want my craft rotating all over the place. So that's kind of the reason why I'm doing that. 130 meters out. You can kind of see where we're headed here. Slowly coming in on approach. Kind of really nice light here. How come it's not nice light when I look at it from my craft? I guess it is. It's just kind of far away. Fair enough. Pardon me, little indicator thing, but I would very much like your cooperation in keeping, like, pointed directly where you need to point. Wow. Come on. It's kind of nuts. Okay, let's keep myself pointed right on the target indicator here. Slow myself down a bit. Just want to kill off a little bit more speed. Come in nice and easy. And we're going to grab him and pull him in and get him to safety. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. And grab it. Gotcha. Ha ha ha. Okay, can I transfer him now? To this. Thank you much. We have transferred him successfully, and now we can let go of this capsule. As much as I would like to, I would very much like to deorbit this, but I don't think that's really going to be possible because our orbit is currently way too high for that to ever happen. So, I'm gonna have to just let go of it, I guess, and we'll come out and get it later, I guess. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of. So let's release it. Off it goes. We can disarm this if we want to now. Let's control it from here. And our next stop is the moon.